morning. Welcome to Outside by Side. We are here at the beautiful Stephen F. Austin State Park. It's so gorgeous. Right outside of Sealy, Texas. Sealy is about 45 minutes from Houston, Texas.
We just wanted to give you a quick overview of how we set up our trailer and break it down. This information was really helpful for us when we first got our trailer, because there's so many things that you have to do, and it's kind of important that you do them in the right order so that you don't have any issues.
And if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and share with anybody new to RVing. And thanks for watching.
First thing that we do when we set up our camper is we pull in and we kind of walk around the site and check out and see where the door is going to be and where the hookups are going to be. So in this particular site, it's a pull through, which makes things kind of easy. And you can see we have plenty of space for our door. And if you walk around on this side, the sewer hookup is right here, which is no problem. And then we have our water and electric, which should reach just fine. So I think this is a good spot. So I checked the level and we're a little low on this side. So I'm gonna put a couple blocks under this wheel and drive forward. So it's very important that before you unhook your trailer, the first thing you need to do is chalk the wheel so it doesn't roll forwards or backwards. I got these, they're really nice, heavy rubber chalks. I like these better than the plastic ones. And I got these at Harbor Freight, and I think they were only about $5 a piece, so it worked out really well. So you just want to put them on both sides of the tires, and that should do it. Okay, so now that we have the wheels chalked, we're going to start to disconnect the trailer and level it. We have a weight distribution hitch. This is the way that we disconnect it. So the first thing we're going to do is lift up the truck and the trailer to reduce the tension on these bars. So when you're unhooking your trailer, you want to disconnect your safety chains and your trailer plug. This is a little caddy that we bought on Amazon. We'll put the link below, but it lets you hang your chains. It keeps everything kind of neat, and then you can hook your plug up in here. I also have a cover that's inside the truck that you can cover the cord to keep it dry. And then so now we're going to pull our pins. Now we're going to check our trailer for level. I'm just using your standard level. So the way I like to do it is put it on the floor, and you can see front to back. It looks like if we might want to drop the front just a little bit. We're going to double check our left to right to see if we need to make any adjustments. It looks like the outside needs to come up just a little bit, and we can do that with the stabilizers. You're not supposed to use your stabilizers to level the trailer, but this is a fairly light trailer, and so we can just put a little bit of tension on it and get it pretty close.
So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drop the stabilizers. Keep in mind, as David mentioned, the stabilizers are not to level the trailer. The stabilizers are to keep it from rocking and rolling while you're at your campsite. So we bought a tool to use with our drill for convenience, so you don't have to use the crank. The girl with the drill.
Now we are unhooked and level, and we have the stabilizers down. Now we're going to start to do all of our hookups. The campsite that we're at today has a 30 amp service. If you have a 50 amp trailer, you'd probably need to have some type of dog bone adapter to convert it, but we're okay. The first thing I'm going to do is that we have our surge guard, surge protector. It has status lights on there to where you can check to make sure that the pedestal has good connection. What we're looking for is 2 greens, which is the top here. What you want to do first, always make sure that your breakers are off. This one right here has a 20 amp and a 30 amp. So the breaker's off. We're going to plug it in, and then we're going to turn the breaker on. And it's kind of hard to see, but we have 2 green lights right here, which means that the power is good. So now we're going to turn the breaker back off. Always turn your breaker off when you're making these connections. Here's our 30 amp cord. This one is a twist lock. So what you do is you lift up your door, and you can see how one of the prongs has a little notch that goes right there. So you want to line that up, and then you plug it in, and then you twist it. And when you twist it, it locks it so it won't come out, and then you can tighten this up. Now we're going to tighten this ring right here, which helps keep the connection tight. Also kind of helps keep a little bit of water out. Drop that down. So now we're back at this end. We're going to make our connection right here. Turn our breaker back on. And on this cord is pretty nice because it gives you a blue light right here. We got our 2 green lights here, and over here you have a red light, which shows that we're plugged in on our power. So that's all good. The campsite we're at today has full hookups. Full hookups means that you can hook your sewer line directly into the ground, so you don't have to dump at a dump station, which is always nice. I always like to try to wear my gloves, even though it's our poo, it's still poo. Okay, so I keep all of my sewer connections in a box, just for the sewer connections. The first thing you have to do is make sure that both of these are closed, or else when you take this cap off, you could have a surprise. I got this wrench the other day on Amazon because sometimes this cap is difficult to get off, especially being kind of up under the trailer. Always be aware of the residual fluids that could be behind this cap. So you can get a drip or two. Like most people, we like to store our hose in our bumper, and we have one of these magnetic caps. It holds the hose and acts as a cap. Always beware of the stuff coming out. Make sure it's locked on. And then next you want to undo the cap, set it off to the side. This elbow right here has different threads on it for different size pipes. So usually you can find the correct one, and you always want to screw this in here so that doesn't pop out. And next, we're going to put our hose onto here. And I'm not liking that because it's pointing the wrong way. You want to try to make sure that your hose is lined up and not kinked. And hopefully, in most situations, you want your trailer end higher than here, because you know what they say, shit rolls downhill. This device right here, it helps support your hose, make sure that it's going downhill. It also keeps it off the ground, which is nice. So you're going to put the high end here. We have a little bit of gray in our tank, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it and just check and see if this is flowing. Now we're going to hook up our water. We're using this water pressure regulator. This protects our trailer from unknown pressures. Sometimes when you get to these campsites, the pressures can be too high. And so what I can do with this is I can set it at a certain pressure to keep it from exceeding the pressure and blowing out our plumbing. So the way this works is you hook it up to your spigot. And I always like to give it just a little bit of extra crank, just so we don't have any drips or leaks. Now we're going to hook up our hose. Hook it up like you would any other hose to the regulator. Give it an extra little tighten.
So we're using this 0G 50-foot drinking water hose that we purchased. Of course, you can purchase it at Camping World or Amazon. We love this hose because it doesn't kink. It's easy to store. It's an easy setup, and we will never buy a regular hose again. So we highly recommend this hose.
So this is our city water connection. This is where we hook up the hose to the trailer. So you open that up. This is our water filter that we use. It's an inline water filter for a hose. It keeps all the crap and sediment out of your plumbing and your appliances. So I also have this 90-degree elbow fitting that I like to use because it lets your filter hang down and not stick out like this and put your connection in a bind. And so this is pretty simple to hook up. And then of course your hose. I added an extra valve on this hose. It kind of helps sometimes when you're connecting or disconnecting. If you have any pressure in the hose, you can turn it off so that it doesn't spray you. And that simply just connects to your filter. I like to keep all my hoses and my extension cords underneath the trailer. Make sure that you coil it up really good so that you don't get any kinks and that everything's out of the way. And now that we have everything connected on the water side, we're going to go ahead and turn it on. Right now it looks like we're getting about 40 PSI, which should be fine for our trailer. Now that we have everything connected, we want to turn on our electric water heater and purge all of the air out of the lines. We have a gas and an electric water heater. We're going to use, since we have electricity, we're going to go ahead and turn our water heater on. So now that we have our electric water heater turned on, we're going to go ahead and let all the air out of the lines and let the hot water tank fill up, so that way we'll have some hot water when we need it. So you can hear that there's a little air, which is normal. And you want to go ahead and run all your faucets and get your air going. So now we're going to check our refrigerator, make sure that it's on and that it's the light is on for auto. This refrigerator runs on propane or electricity, and so right now that we're hooked up to electric, you want to make sure that that's all working correctly. So now that we have our sewer connected, it's okay to leave your gray open as long as you're washing dishes or taking a shower. It's okay to let the water go through the pipe when you have full hookups. But you always want to keep your black tank shut because your black tank needs water in it. And so we keep this shut until we're ready to leave, and then we'll dump it out. Or if we're going to be for a long time, we'll dump it as needed. But you do need to have water in your black tank at all times to prevent things from piling up.
Before you put out your awning, make sure that everything's clear. Make sure there's no trees in the way. You also want to consider that if you go to sleep or if you leave your campsite, to also put your awning back in, because the weather can change. Any inclement weather can damage your awning. So we're going to put our awning out. So now you're ready to camp and enjoy your weekends.
Stay tuned so we can show you how we break it all down.
Yes. So the first part of the breakdown is to get the inside ready. I'm in charge of the inside when we leave. So the first thing we do is make sure that everything is secure and stable. So when you're driving, that it's not falling all over. For example, things like your counters, make sure they're clear. We're going to clean all this off. We also purchased a television, and we take our TV off because we don't want to take the chance that it could fall. So we take our TV off and we put it in the bunks with the pillows. We keep all of our pillows in the bunks when our children aren't with us, our grown children, that is. We want to make sure all of the loose stuff is up. Also, you want to make sure everything's clear in your refrigerator so things aren't moving around. Make it secure. For example, this time I brought lunch bags, which will keep some of the glass secure when we're gone. And last but not least, on the inside, make sure your bathroom is secure. We put our trash can away. You want to make sure that there's nothing in the toilet. Flush the water. You want to have as minimal water in your toilet so it's not swishing around. Also, we take our shower head off and put it down so that way it doesn't fall and break. Just another tip for you. Of course, all your counter items, you want to make sure that's clear. And now what we'll do is we'll go outside and show you how to break down the outside.
The first thing I like to do outside, I think we're gonna start with the sewer dump. Since we have full hookups at this campsite, I like to go ahead and flush out our tank so that we don't have any nasty things in it while it's in storage. So what we have for that is it's the Rhino flush, and it allows you to hook up the water hose to it and shoot water up into your black tank. It has a gate valve right here that holds it off. And so what we do is we dump the tank, we let all of the yucky stuff come through, and then we back flush it with clean water several times until we get our black tank flowing clear. And then after that, then we'll pull our gray and rinse out anything else. So first, that's what I'm going to do first. I say we've dumped our first round. We thought we didn't want to show that, but now what I do, I've got this valve shut and I have the water on, and so what it's doing is it's backfilling the black tank again. One thing about this procedure is that you don't want to leave this valve shut and overfill it, because you can flood your bathroom. Our black tank holds 40 gallons, so if you walked away from this and let it run too long, it could pop up out of the toilet or come out of the roof. So you can see it's still nasty in there. And then we'll close it off. We're just going to keep doing this until we get clear. Our final flush on the black, what you want to do is make sure that it's clear. So we're going to run it one more time. We're going to go ahead and shut off the water coming in. And make sure it's completely empty. And then we'll close off the black valve and open up our gray at last. And the gray is just going to be mostly soapy water. And that way we can make sure that our hose is nice and clear. Now we've shut off our black valve, and then here comes our gray. Here's some of the bubbles, which is a good thing. It's always nice to have something inside this hose. Now we have the gate valve shut off and the water on, and we're just going to do a quick rinse of our gray tank as well. But this Rhino, I think it's called the Rhino Flush. It's something I really think it's good to make sure that your tanks are clean. It's very important. So now we're going to disconnect our hose. Oh, look at that. And we're going to lift it up, get anything else out of the hose. So now we're going to remove our flush valve and hook up our cap. Now we're going to disconnect our 90-degree and cover up the stinky hole.
Now that we have flushed our black tank, we want to get our black tank ready for storage. And what we do and recommend is that you use one of the treatments. You can get these anywhere. We got this pack at Walmart. But you're going to take one of these and you're going to drop it in the toilet and let it dissolve. So the purpose of putting the treatment packet in there is because you never want to store your black tank empty. You always want to keep a couple of gallons of water with the treatment because it breaks down some of the leftovers that's already in the tank, even though we flushed it.
Now that we have the tanks taken care of, we're going to go ahead and disconnect our electric and our water. Breaker off, unplug.
Since we've disconnected the electricity, make sure your water heater is turned off. Most importantly, don't forget to roll up your awning, because if we forget the awning, we're going to be hitting that tree over there. Before we hook up the hitch, we wanted to lift the stabilizers. I like to do this just because I like having a drill.
So now we're going to start the process of hooking up the trailer. We use the R3 recurve weight distribution hitch. We have another video on that where we explain how that works. It's been working out great for us. Please, we'll leave the link for that below in the video. So first, you want to pick this thing up.
Don't forget to pull your chocks, not to be confused with chalk and not to be confused with shocks, but chocks.
Tanya and I have just recently purchased our trailer and we're learning every day. we've watched a lot of videos on this and learned a lot from other people's videos, and so now we're starting to experience it. We're having a blast. But there are some things that you can do that could be an expensive error that could cost you money, or something that you forgot or left off, and I'm sure we're going to learn as we go. But if you're interested in this video and you'd like to see more videos like this as we learn, please subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to like and share our videos.
Welcome to the travel trailer world. Your life will never be the same. Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to stop.